You are muted. How is the situation there?
Situation, the city is getting geared up for a G7 meeting,
Okay.
and weather is 3 degrees now.
Okay.
So how is Bangalore?
Good, good. அப்புறமா நீங்க அந்த புக் எல்லாம் படிக்கலையா?
இது son ஆர்டர் பண்ண சொல்லியிருக்கேன் நானு. He said this week he will order it.
Okay. 8 books are there.
Okay.
Please, huh? And then also
Okay.
spread it to your friends.
Sure, definitely.
They will find it useful.
Yeah.
I'm depending on you, please.
Oh, it's definitely do it. Yeah.
Now, with the resources that we are having currently, how we can reallocate them and achieve great business success. Today's session is about expanding your market and entering into uncontested market space. This is very, very important for all three categories of people, those who are professionals working in a company. They can contribute with this knowledge to building their organization and become the go-to person in the organization, become invaluable to the senior management. And if you are a senior management, become invaluable to the board and enjoy unstinted, career as long as you wish. If you are an entrepreneur, obviously it has a lot of meaning to you, because then you will never have to worry about making profits or building your organization. You can keep on building it by identifying more and more uncontested market space and taking your company into those blue oceans. If you are a consultant, you will be looked at as a magician by your clients. What does a client want? He wants growth. He wants his company to grow. And since he is in trouble, he has come to you, and your knowledge of particularly these two things, reallocating resources and identifying uncontested market space, will ensure that you are a magician for your client. Definitely, you must be wondering, what does this mean, this uncontested market space? How can there be any uncontested market space? Can anyone of you tell me? How can there be?
Some segment which has not been catered to currently, or identifying the pain areas of customers.
Beautiful. That's what comes into the mind. But in blue ocean strategy, the uncontested market space is identified by the distance that is there between the current market space and the existing market space.
Like Southwest Airline thought that the people going for commute between two cities by car can be brought to airline mode, and that was the space that no one vied for, and it became an uncontested market space.
Beautiful. Very right. Now we will see today what exactly is this thing called uncontested market space. What are the mistakes people make while identifying them? You see, one of the most beautiful things about blue ocean strategy is it is all implementable. So we will see what are the mistakes people make, what precautions you need to take to ensure that you don't make that mistake, where a person fails in identifying, how you can ensure that you don't fail, what do you need to do for that. And above all, blue ocean strategy even talks about how to develop a brain set, a mindset, which will help you look for uncontested market space. You require a special mindset for it. Because all along we have been working in such a way that we are not tuned to thinking in that direction. When we discuss these uncontested market space, we will be discussing about why we miss out. That is the saying in Hindi, chirag tale andhera hota hai. Right under the lamp, there is darkness. Whereas the lamp gives light to the entire room. but right under it there is darkness. This is something like that. Yes, Suresh?
Sir, today I read one interesting video.
Is it
Uh,
about this?
Yeah, it is connected with this. That's why I wanted to how uncontested market can be identified. ATM machine, we know that we take money. And one particular school student has identified medicine that can be taken from railway compartments for emergency, and also thing where they can inform the next station about what is the problem.
Thank you, Suresh. Now let us start. Please feel free to stop me wherever you have any doubt. I'll try to clarify the doubt to you immediately. If not, at a later stage, you can definitely come and ask me so that I will be able to explain to you. But this is a very important subject for all of us for the simple reason that whenever a company is not doing well, one of the ways of escaping and coming out of that problem is by identifying uncontested market space and moving towards it. We will start with a very simple question. What are non-consumers? That is, people who occupy that market space which is not currently being addressed. Non-consumers are individuals who currently do not use the product or services of a given industry or market. They are not using it, either because they can't afford it. That's the distinct possibility, which made C.K. Prahalad write the book, there is a market at the bottom of the pyramid. So you see, either they cannot afford it or they do not find value in it. Because obviously you will not go and take the services of an individual or buy a product or hire a product if you don't see value in it. Or simply it does not meet their needs and preferences. If they can't afford it, they will say no to it. If they can't find value in it, they will say no to it. And if if it does not meet their needs and preferences, they will say no to it. These are the people who are the non-consumers. Non-consumers, based upon the distance which they hold from the market boundaries, are divided into three categories. The first tier is called the soon-to-be non-consumers. That means what? They are at the edge. Any moment they will slip out and become a total non-consumer. They are on the edge of the market, occasionally using the product or service to the extent of being negligible. They are dissatisfied and find the current offering inconvenient, complex, and unaffordable. They are on the edge of the market, occasionally using the product or services. They are dissatisfied and find the current offering inconvenient, complex, or unaffordable. Example could be like the Yogesh was telling, the budget travelers going from one city to another by car, whom Southwest Airlines pulled into the airline sector, but they did not use traditional airlines because of their high cost, and they used to take the inconvenience of driving from one place to another. And the opportunity here is identify the barrier that prevents full adoption and remove them. That's what Southwest Airlines did. They came with the budget airlines where the cost of traveling from one city to another more than overrode the inconvenience of driving from one place to another by reducing the price of the air travel. And people migrated to it en masse. Southwest Airlines had found an uncontested market space. This is the first tier of non-consumers soon to be. Who are those people who are on the edge of your market, who might flip over to the other side any moment? The second are the refusing people. These people consciously reject the offering of the current market. For the simple reason, they do not see value in it or feel alienated by the product. An example is people who do not buy nowadays, newspapers and magazines are not purchased after TV has come because they find it irrelevant or, it is full of advertisements. Nothing is there. Everything which is there in the newspaper is already you have seen in the TV. And it is being replayed so many times that there is absolutely no way if you switch on the TV news channel, can you miss the latest news. So newspaper becomes a waste. What is the opportunity here? Understanding their objections and creating an offering that redefines value in their terms. It redefines value. The third category is the unexplored. That means people who have not been, consisting of people who have never targeted or considered as potential customers. The industry itself did not target them or consider them as potential customers. They are completely outside the boundaries of the industry, but still they are very much there, but they are outside the boundaries because the dominant logic did not identify them as being a potential. When the dominant logic does not identify them as being potential, you ignore them. This is what happened with, like the shampoos from multinational companies like Unilever. They never targeted the poorer segment because it was so costly each bottle that they never targeted. But then someone came with sachet and the market exploded. It reached 6 times the total amount of shampoo sales only that segment took. That means the company had identified an unexplored and uncontested market space, and in the process, business exploded. Example, there is another example, good example is villagers in India never use mobile telephone unless companies like Reliance brought affordable internet. If you remember, initially when Reliance came, they came only with the handset with loaded, internet services. And that is the one which took mobile telephony to the villages, even to the most remote place. That failed, went away. But mobile had reached the corners of the country, even the village level it had gone. Opportunity, challenge industry assumption, challenge the dominant logic, and reach new frontiers of demand. These are the 3 major non-consumers. One is soon to be, the other is refusing, the third is unexplored. Every industry has all these 3. One, those who are, they just look at you, that's all. They really are confused. They don't know how your services and product will be of use to them, or maybe, they have tried it once and did not find the result, or whatever may be the thing. The second are those who have tried but are refusing because they did not get the results. The third are those whom the industry itself ignores because of the dominant logic of the industry that they are not worth it. Let us understand tier-wise the common mistakes companies and individuals make when identifying the 3 tiers of non-consumers. Try to understand this very clearly, because you see, when you are going to be working for your company, when you are going to be doing this exercise, or as an entrepreneur when you are going to be doing it for your company, or as a consultant when you are going to be doing it for your client, you should not make these mistakes. The first biggest mistake in the first tier is assuming that light users are loyal customers. Light users are not loyal customers. They are often wrongly treated as satisfied customers instead of potential defectors. Are you understanding the difference between the two? One side, there is a very light user You are looking at him as a light user. You may be arguing and justifying, भाई इसका इतना ही स्कोप है. स्कोप ज्यादा होता तो शायद और ज्यादा यूज करता. Are you getting, Yogesh, what I'm telling? But you never consider that he is a potential defector. He is on the verge of defecting, leaving the industry and going away. That is the one thing. So what do you do? We will see what you can do with such people. Making the mistake that they are oftenly treated as satisfied customers instead of potential defectors. Number two, overlooking barriers like cost, convenience, and complexity. Only when you look at the barriers which exist in your product or services like cost, convenience, or complexity, will you be able to see that there could be possible defectors. We always try to justify towards our benefit. But instead, if you look at what could be the barrier here to this person in terms of cost or convenience or complexity, you will realize that he is soon going to defect. Third thing, confusing disinterest with disloyalty. His disinterest is not disloyalty. His disinterest is because he has not been able to understand. He is not being disloyal to you. He is really not looking for something else. But it is our inaction which is making him leave us and go. Then finally failing to address complaints or usage drop off. You know, Vikas, are you there? You see, Mr. Vikas Goyal is a consultant. He has a number of companies whom he services. And in most of these companies, he finds that there are a lot of drop-off of clients. Churn rate is very high. One of the questions which most companies have is, why is there such a high churn rate of customers? Why do people leave the company's services and products and go to somebody else? This is the reason. The reason is, you are not considering their complaints. You are not looking at their customer journey to understand why the drop-off is taking place. What are the precautionary steps? You have this, assuming the light users are loyal customers. Possibly, you justify that maybe they are not getting more opportunity to use the product, so they are not using. And in the process, you keep thinking that they are loyal customers, whereas they are on the verge of defecting. Second thing is, we constantly keep thinking of giving greater experience through better feature and services. We never think in terms of cost, convenience, and complexity. User experience in terms of complexity and convenience, we never think. We think of adding features. The third thing is confusing disinterest with disloyalty. Just because a person is not interested in your product, you think that he is having a very short attention span and he's being disloyal to you or your company or product, even though he has used it earlier. And finally, failing to address the complaints and usage drop-offs correctly. So what do you do? What precautionary steps you can take in this so that, you don't make this mistake. This is the steps you are going to take is not for the customer. It is for you. Because these are the mistakes you are making. First thing is conduct exit interviews and follow-up surveys with occasional ex-users. I always suggest to my mentees that contact those people who were once your customer, talk to them. Find out what went wrong, what could have been, why they left you and went away, whether you can bring them back. Talk to them. They will give you invaluable, insights into what went wrong. Even if they don't come back, those insights can prevent you from making the same mistakes with others. Conduct exit interviews and follow-up surveys. Second thing, simplify offering to eliminate friction in price, accessibility, and understanding. Make your offerings as simple as possible. Constantly work at simplifying the offering. keeping in mind the edge users. Always when you are creating an improvement in the product, keep the edge users in your mind. Those who are using it very lightly, 1 or 2 times they have come and then they vanish. It is for those people you should simplify the offering. Use customer journey mapping to find where and why they drop off. This is very important. Customer journey is from the time you start thinking of a particular product or a service which you require to the point where you use it is the customer journey. It is in this journey that you will find the various touch points where people drop off. They simply leave it and go away. Once you draw the customer journey and draw it for different personas, you will be able to identify the drop-off points and do the necessary innovation there. And finally, monitor usage patterns and flag anomalies. Check and see the usage pattern. This is where, customer lifetime value comes in. People think of customer lifetime value as a very, very vague subject. It is not. It gives you a very strong indication of usage patterns. A person or a segment, a persona with a high customer lifetime value, CLV, is one which is using the product regularly. The lower the usage value keeps going, the usage pattern keeps dropping. Do this, take these precautions, conduct exit interviews, talk to people who have left your company, left using your product and services, simplify the offering, keeping those people in mind. What it is, if you can simplify, what are the frictions in price, accessibility, and understanding of the product that you can work on so that those people will be more enamored towards you. Draw the customer journey for the various customer personas and see where the drop-offs are coming, plug those drop-offs, and monitor the usage patterns to ensure that you have a high customer lifetime value. Higher the customer lifetime value, longer and more is the usage. Flag off those with anomalies in it and work on it. Any questions? No questions. We can move forward. Okay. Then let's go to the second type. The refusing type. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that rejection is permanent. Rejection is never permanent. People who are refused will never convert again is a wrong idea. They can be converted, so don't let them off the hook. Blaming the customer for non-adoption. Many a time we say, no, these type of people are, we somehow try to reduce the guilt in our mind for that person leaving or refusing our product and services on him so that we don't feel guilty. The third thing is treating them as irrelevant and not worth the effort. Because you must have gone there 10 times, got rejected, you leave it totally. You don't do any in-depth study. You say, these people will not, they will not come in. Finally, using the same marketing language and pitch, same sales pitch for all the people of this segment. Horses for courses. Every segment requires a different sales pitch tailored to the requirement of that segment. So you should have at any point of time 10 to 15 different sales pitches for the same product or same services. With just one sales pitch, you can never get everyone. That is why, I recommend to all the people who I work with to create posters of 10 different types and post it in the social media. Have 10 different sales pitch. Depending upon what the customer wants, you give that sales pitch. So what, these are the common mistakes we make. We assume that the rejection is permanent. We don't even try to get them back again. We blame the customer for non-adoption. We don't blame ourselves. We treat this tire as irrelevant, not worth the effort. And finally, this happens. One of the major reasons is the sales pitch is the same for everybody. We don't convey the value of our product and services based upon the value he is looking for. I might like Cadbury's, but if I go fishing, I will only use a worm in the bay as a bait because the fish doesn't like Cadbury's. It likes only worms. And I have to give it what it likes. Conduct empathy interviews to understand emotional and functional objections. The empathy in the interviews are based upon the empathy map. The empathy map, as you all know, consists of what do I see, what do I hear, what do I think, what do I do. See, this is what is the empathy map. Try to draw that empathy map for each of your customer segment. Wherever possible, talk to them. Try to understand what they have seen, what they have heard about your product, what they are thinking about your product, what they are doing in response to what they see, do, and think, and where is the opportunity for you to address both the functional and the emotional objections that they have for the product. A product does not give you only functional benefits, it gives you multi benefits beyond that. It gives you an emotional benefit, it gives you a social benefit, it gives you an addendum benefits. Many addendum benefits are there. So you see, all these things you have to understand. There is a buyer of value concept in value proposition where the customer tries to assess the value of the product, not just for himself, but for everybody. When you conduct empathy interviews, all these things will come to the surface. And then you tailor your pitch and the product based upon that. Apply job to be done. What are they hiring the product instead of thinking of your product? What you want to convey, try to understand what they are trying to achieve with your product. And if they are not using your product, what else are they using? They have refused your product, but they must be using something in place of it. What is it they are using? How is it fulfilling the job which they want done? Understanding that will help you understand how to convey. Because if your product you are promoting for the same job and a person is using some other product for the job, it means you have not been able to convey the value of your product adequately to him. There is a failure in terms of not value creation, but value messaging, demonstration, and delivery. This is where you have failed. You have failed in messaging the value of your product. You have failed in demonstrating the value, and you have failed in delivering the value. For this, you need to do an empathy interview and you need to apply the job to be done. Possibly you are talking of some other job which this product is going to achieve, whereas that person is thinking of some other job in his mind. Then segment their reasons for refusal. What is the reason for their refusal? Is it fear, confusion, cultural mismatch, pricing? What is it? There must be something they must be telling why I don't want this product. Segment that reason. Then pilot radically different formats or offerings that address their core pain points. This is very, very important. Pilot. That means try out different formats or offerings that address their core pain points so that from refusing, they will become willing to try the product. That means from going from the second tier, they will move to the first tier. Soon to be level, they will move, and then you can pull them in totally. Now we come to the third time. Assuming they are unreachable or unviable. This is one of the biggest mistakes we make. We decide what is the segment that we want to operate in. Often dismissed due to geographic, economic, or cultural distance. For instance, let us say, Vikas is a consultant, turnaround consultant. Suddenly he decides, that no, I cannot take customers from Mumbai. Mumbai is very far away for me. How will I give service to that person who is sitting there? What has he done? He has built a boundary wall around his mind. Since Vikas is based in Delhi, now he has created a geographical limitation of Delhi, Greater Noida, Gurugram, Faridabad, that area, where he can go, attend, and come back. Whereas as a turnaround consultant, he can give services even to London and New York. If you know your job well and you can deliver results, why should you be restricted by geography? And who told you that you should be restricted by geography? Second, being blinded by dominant industry logic. You see, every industry has a particular logic of how things are done. Then what happens? We are totally blinded by that industry logic and we try to operate within the industry logic, and to all those areas or customers on whom the industry logic does not apply, we leave it. Third, equating no awareness with no need. Just because a person is not aware that your product and services exist, you simply think the need does not exist. You see, one of our friends here, Mr. Balakrishnan, he is into hydraulic machines. Well, the other day when we were talking, I and he were talking, and then I suddenly suggested to him, why don't we look at robotics? He said, how will these hydraulic machines be useful in robotics? I said, that's for you to find out. You are the expert, not me. My job is to only throw up ideas. Then I went and checked up. I found there's a huge amount of opportunity. So you see, we need to, there is no awareness means no need. You understand what I mean? If I'm not aware that I need to search for something there, then I will automatically assume there is no need for it there. But the moment I become aware that I can use it, the need starts coming up. I start thinking how I can innovate this particular product and ensure that I penetrate into that market. What you have done in that case? You have opened up an uncontested market space. Trying to force fit the current offering. What happens? There is a particular offering. What do? We try to force that offering into the customer's need. It is something like cutting your head to fit the cap. What should you ideally be doing? Stitch a new hat to fit the head, but we don't do that. We cut the goddamn head so that it will fit into the hat, because that is the hat we have. These are some of the mistakes which we make. Because these are some of the common mistakes that we make. So what can we do? First thing is challenge the fundamental assumptions about who the customer is. What are you really looking for in the customer? You have got certain assumptions. Challenge it. What if this assumption is not right? Now, just tell me one thing. Now, let us take the shampoo. What exactly will all of you kindly unmute your videos? It's a very interesting, exercise I am going to give you. Yeah. Suresh, Vikas and Bala, if you have reached home, you can also unmute the video if possible.
No, Guruji,
Okay.
just and next 10 minutes.
Okay. Now, what do you think is the role of shampoo in the slum? Let us say you are going to try and sell shampoo in the slum. Pitch it.
Role of shampoo in the slums.
Yeah, slum. Dharavi, where there is, shampoo, big bottle it used to sell then, So what did the people think? They thought
Maybe
there
can
can
be
be no
used.
market. In the poorer section, at the bottom of the pyramid, there can be no market for shampoos, right? So they totally ignored it. Then someone came up with the brilliant idea of sachet. I think it was a South Indian person. Velvet shampoo. And then, the market exploded and everyone came with it and the market exploded. Shampoo for lice in the hand is what Yogesh is telling. Let's see how far you can take it.
Sir, usually workers, they work from morning to evening, and that too in dusty areas. So the head will be with mud. So if a 1 rupee sachet is there, they can always cleanse it and once again become fresh. And that is a very easy one which can be used.
Guruji,
See what, again, now you see two ideas have come, both what? Functional. This is where the problem starts.
Guruji, can I say?
Yeah.
Guruji, it can be used for cleaning the floor. In the slums, due to the unhygienic thing, it can be used for cleaning the floor to make it hygiene.
Let us restrict ourselves to only the human beings for the time being. Let us not go into other usages. I want to see how many different usages you see. Because a shampoo in a slum is not a functional product. It is much more than a functional product. See, this is where your marketing brain should start, the wires should run helter-skelter.
Sir, it is an emotional aspect. The ladder, actually, if you look into it, give a feeling that they are cleaned. So what is exactly happens is usually the partners, when they see the ladder, they feel that he has become very clean. And that is one aspect that can be one of the usage.
Yes, Yogesh.
Can I come, sir?
Yeah.
Sachet can also be used for washing, putting in washing machine for washing clothes.
I'm just saying for human bath.
Oh, for human bath. Okay.
What you see, why I'm telling is, what is it that we are seeing?
It can be a replacement for soap.
For
Challenge your assumptions about who the customer is.
putting in tub and taking bath. In hotels, putting in tub, at home, putting in tub, washing and taking bath. Yes.
Let us see now. Let us understand how you can explore this very product. What is it when in the slum, they are very dirty, they keep smelling very bad, they keep cringing, they feel unsocial, they lack confidence to move with people. Correct or not? This makes them again and again move around in the dirty environment only. They don't have a desire to come out. They have suppressed ambitions. They don't find avenues for them to express themselves in a big way. With the entering of the shampoo, what happened? Suddenly, they realize that they smell good. That inhibition they had of moving around in the public is gone. There was a newfound confidence. Now they did not want to get back into the dirty environment. They wanted a better environment which will fit their newfound freshness. It made them more confident, it made them more ambitious, it made them more social. Do you see the various layers which got peeled by one shampoo sachet of 1 rupee? What are the values you are now seeing in this product? Is it just a shampoo? It is a lifestyle diviner. It is defining a new lifestyle. Huh?
Confidence booster, love
Everything.
life,
Suddenly
compassion.
you see a different world in front of you. Now just imagine when you did not take bath with that shampoo because you could not afford it, you are stinking, you are worried about going and standing next to a person who is well dressed, who was affluent, but now there is no distinction between you and a well dressed affluent person because both of you smell the same. Both of you look the same. So much more social acceptability comes in. So much more confidence comes in. You suddenly start seeing the world in a different way. Challenge the assumptions about who the customer is. Just because you have a shampoo bottle, don't think only the rich are your customer. What if that poor could get this shampoo? What will happen? Only thing is, you will have to explore the depths of your understanding of your product, find out the intrinsic value in it, hidden latent value in it, and position it to him. Just imagine if someone had taken the trouble to position a shampoo in the Dharavi slums like this, what would have happened to the sale of even shampoo bottle before the sachet came? But no one bothered. No one looked at the opportunities and the possibilities. Number two, observe non-consumption behavior in different settings. Why are non-consumers there? What is their behavior in different settings, in rural, in the informal sector, in alternate industries? What is it that they can do? Why are they behaving the way they are behaving? You have a particular product that is not selling, but some other product is selling in its place. What is the behavior of people towards that product? Why is that product being accepted? Use ethnographic research and go into the field. What is ethnographic research? Observing, covert, overt. Letting the people know that they are being observed is overt, and not letting the people know that they are being observed is covert. Ask questions, observe people, why they are doing what they are doing. It will give you hundreds of, you must have heard the name of Lafley. He was the CEO of Procter & Gamble. I think his name was PJ Lafley, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember exactly that initials. He was the CEO of Procter & Gamble. He went to Hong Kong on a tour. He doesn't know Chinese. He doesn't know any language other than English. He went to a shop and stood there, started observing. Then what he did a remarkable thing. He followed one of the person who had rejected one of the Procter & Gamble products in the counter. He followed the lady to her house, went inside the house and told her to explain to him why she had rejected. Understand one thing, he doesn't understand the language. He doesn't understand. Now that lady also had to explain to him why she had rejected the product without using words. Like that he did with maybe 100 customers. And found out what was the reason why people were either using their product or they were using the alternate industry product. This is called ethnographic, research. For instance, I'll give you a simple example. You go to a shop, somebody asks for a toothpaste. The shopkeeper gives a particular toothpaste. They take it, hold it in their hand, and then return it back and tell, give me some other toothpaste. What do you understand from this?
There are three things. First, they would have earlier used this product and not happy with it. Second, they wanted a specific toothpaste in mind, and that one they are expecting from that shopkeeper. And third one is probably the pack size and other aspects.
Suresh, if you are interested in a particular brand, will you not go and ask for the brand without wasting your time and his time? Tell me. Will you go to the shop and say, give me a toothpaste? Or will you say, give me Sensodyne, give me Colgate, give me Pepsodent, whichever brand you want? The person comes and asks for a toothpaste. The person gives one pack to him. He holds the pack, and returns it back. And asks, दूसरा कुछ दिखाइए. See, what is the apparent message you are getting? Some message you are getting, na? What is that apparent message?
So probably he has fear to experiment new thing.
Very simple, Anil Saab. Why can't we be simple in our thinking? He did not like the packaging, he returned it back. Otherwise, why would he have taken it in his hand? He took it in his hand, he did not like the packaging. Maybe the pack was dirty, maybe the pack was torn, or maybe the pack was rough, maybe the packaging did not, the sense of touch was not confident enough for him. He returned it back. Simple.
Yes, correct.
So you see, ethnographics research is all about observation. There are many things you can understand from observation. You go to a shop, many of us, only now, very commonly, foreign materials are available in this country, correct? I remember when we were young, foreign material never used to be available. Scent or, or torch or anything, it never used to be available. At that time, there were places like Tiruchendur in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, or, what do you call it, here in Kerala, some places, or Diamond Harbour in Calcutta, in all these places, smuggled goods used to come. Now, these smuggled goods, there used to be spurious also, made in India itself, sold in the brand, and some used to be made in China, sold as Italian stuff. All these things used to happen. How did you find out whether it was genuine or not, other than asking the guy, genuine hai na? This is a standard question, as though, that guy bolega, main Bhagavad Gita ki kasam kha ke bol raha hu, ye genuine hai. He will say it is genuine. But then how did you find out? By the finish, isn't it? Suddenly he gives you something, you find that the finish is not good, you return it back. Nahi yaar, ye nahi chahiye, ye theek nahi lag raha. This is called observation. Like this, you can observe many things. Now, you go to a shop, you ask for Colgate toothpaste de dijiye. Many a time it happens, that the shopkeeper gives a different toothpaste. साहब ये try करके देखिए बहुत अच्छी product है. Has that happened with you? Did it ever make you question why this is happening? Why, in spite of your asking for Colgate, which he is trying to push you Pepsodent?
Maybe he's getting a better offer.
That is true. Maybe many things are possible, but did this question rise in your mind? The question is not why it has happened. The question is, did it rise in your mind why that person is doing this? When you are doing an ethnographic research, quote or over, this question should come in your mind. Why is the shopkeeper trying to push that brand when he has invested money on both the brands? Remember, Colgate is not going to give him the product for free. As much as he has paid for Colgate, he has also paid for this. But he is trying to push this even when that is being asked, at the risk of making the customer unhappy that he is giving something which he is not asking. So automatically the question could come, why this has happened? There could be a contest going on where if they sell a particular amount, they will get a particular monetary benefit, or there might be a foreign trip involved, or he might have been dumped a huge amount of stock of this product and it has to be liquidated. His capital is blocked. So many reasons could be there. So when you do this ethnographic research, you find out what the real thing is. And that will give you a very good indication of why a particular segment has been totally neglected. Then finally, you have designed minimal viable experiments tailored for these new frontiers. MVP, we have these minimum viable products. Create these minimum viable products for these segments which are totally unexplored, which are totally ignored, and conduct experiments to find out what it is that this segment will react to and see how that can be brought into the company's product basket. Now we come to that step where how do we identify first line users? We know what a first line user is. We know what mistakes we normally make in the case of these first line users, what assumptions we go with. We have seen what precautions we need to take. Now let us see, is it not necessary for us to know how to identify them among the huge ocean of people who are existing? Where to look for them? Analyze usage to identify marginal users. This is something which we very rarely do. Analyze the usage. Supposing there are, you are a company. You are a consultant. Yogesh is a consultant. His area of specialization is certification. Now, who are the first time non-consumers for him? Can you tell me, Yogesh ji? Yeah. Who do you think are the first tier non-consumers for you?
Those who have achieved a level of say 50 crore turnover or 100 crore turnover, or those who have acquired vendorship of a good OEM, those can be.
Who are on the edge of your market? Who?
Yes. Those who are vendors to OEM, or
No. Those who talked to you once and then dropped out of sight. It does not matter. It has got nothing to do with that turnover. They talked to you once. They checked up with you. But then something did not work. What is it? Are you getting my point?
Yes,
Huh?
sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if you check, you will find in the 10 years or 15 years that you have been running this consultancy, there must be at least 500 people who must have talked to you and dropped out.
Yes.
There lies your
Market.
uncontested market space. Reach out to them, find out, tell them. साहब आप उस दिन बात किए हमसे, उसके बाद क्या बात है? बताइए किस सेवा के लिए आपने मुझसे बात किया था? मैं भी तो समझूं क्या कर सकता हूं मैं आपके लिए. What you are doing? You are reigniting that flame and bringing him back. And then you start working on the essentials, on the edge innovations, so that you can create a product which will be useful to him. Analyze usage to identify marginal users. Analyze purchase or usage data to find low frequency users or those who came and went away. Segment customers into medium, heavy, and light. If you don't have any CRM app, at least you have the list of people, check it. You know, you could also look for customers who only buy during discount offers. Like, you know, generally for everyone, this is not for yoga, generally for everyone, there are people who buy only when discounts are given. There are people who try the product but don't convert, leave it and go away. There are people who subscribe but then drop out in the first month itself. All these people are first-time non-consumers. Conduct interviews, observations to uncover motivations. Talk to people, even with those who are not interested in your product. In fact, you know, they are the people whom you should talk to more than the people who are interested in your product. You see, one of the most critical things about Blue Ocean strategy is in the business model canvas, Alexander Osterwald talks about customer relationship with customers who have already been converted to you. But Blue Ocean strategy talks of conducting relationship, maintaining relationship, developing relationship with those people who are not your customers, because that is where the market expansion lies. If you want to expand into uncontested market space, you have to work with those people who are not your customers. Map the customer journey and find the drop-off points. Where all drop-off is happening. Identify economic, functional, and emotional barriers of your product. What are the economic, functional, and emotional barriers? Can any one of you give me an example of economic, functional, and emotional barriers?
Sir, could you just explain this drop-off points?
You see, for instance, there's a customer journey. Suddenly a person, you know, he thinks, I require to appoint a good chartered accountant who will be able to not do external audit, but come and do internal audit for me. That is possible, isn't it? This point where he thought about it is the beginning of the journey. From that to the point where he appoints an internal audit agency is the customer journey. How does it move forward? He thought that, yes, I require an internal audit to be done. Next step. What is the next step, Raju sir?
So he will see who are the people who are providing that service.
He will talk to his friends. Is anyone doing with an internal audit to some other agency? Then what he will do? He will go to Google, type auditors doing internal audit for various firms. Then what he will do? He will go to their website, see all the things which are available in that website from all those people. Then what he will do? He will take the telephone number and talk to those people, contact those officers, book an appointment, go and talk to them, ask for their fees and other details, what services they will give, at what frequency they will do the internal audit, how it will benefit his organization, come back, ask for a quotation from them, analyze the various quotations, and then take a call, meet them, enter into an understanding, ask them to come and visit his office so that they will come and have an overview of what is there and give him an assurance of whether they can do the job or not. This is the customer journey. Now, where all it can drop?
At the quotation level,
Why? It can drop at the website level.
yes.
If the website is slow in loading, he will drop that and move on to the next internal auditor's website. It can drop after opening the website, it can drop at the telephone number level. If the contact does not give the adequate telephone number, correct telephone numbers, or if the telephone number is dysfunctional, it could drop off there. It could drop off at the level of his telephoning to their office. The receptionist is not friendly enough. So you see, now when you do this customer journey, you know where your company is being hit. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So you see, this customer journey is very important. Many places, malls where sales were dropping, they did a customer journey. Do you know what they found? There is this
Security person shooing away the customer.
Huh?
Security person shooing away the customer.
No, that was not found. Maybe it is happening. I don't know. But one of the things which was very, very frequently, which was seen is there is a huge, middle class and lower middle class mall called ShopRite in the US. There, suddenly they found, the first thing is it had stagnated. The customers have stagnated, even though very good products were being given at a very low price there. People should have gone. You must be knowing, Anil साहब, ShopRite तो आप जानते ही हैं, आप ही के घर के पास में था. हाँ, but one thing which they found out is that they had huge trolleys and the passageway between the two payment counters was very narrow.
Yes.
So what happened? Many places, they loaded it, left it there and went away. Because of the long queue and there was no place to stand and keep it, people dropped it. That means loaded trolleys were there, which were never checked out. So you see, when you do the customer journey, you find out where the drop-off points are.
Yeah.
Now you see, identify economic, functional, and emotional barriers. For instance, I was telling, like, let us take Yogeshji's business itself. What are the three barriers? Economic, functional, emotional. What is the economic barrier? Pricing. How do you price your product? It's an economic barrier. How do you overcome it? By giving deferred pricing or staggered pricing. Staggered payment or deferred, like that, you can do lot of technicalities to overcome that. What is functional barrier? When you don't segregate the services you are giving to focus to the individual needs of the customer, you create a functional barrier. Someone might want only audit readiness. You are giving certification, he's not interested in that. Someone is interested in only training. When you punch everything together, bundle everything together and position yourself as a certification company, what happens? You create a functional barrier. What do you think we have done? Now you understand what we have done. We have created, we have broken
Three
down the
levels.
economic barrier, we have broken down the functional barrier, the emotional barrier. When people don't know about your company, there is an emotional barrier. Should I work with an unknown person? So what? Release, keep releasing posters so that you look familiar to them. Emotionally, you feel comfortable. अरे इसको तो जानते हैं यार, ये तो मार्केट में है बहुत दिन से. He has seen 4 times, so बहुत दिन से है हो गया. So you say, how do you break these barriers? Study substitutes and workarounds. What is it the alternate industry is doing? Create a persona of the first and non-consumer, not one, multiple personas. For each segment, take a persona. Persona building is a separate subject. Try to read it up in design thinking. Maybe one day I will take a class for persona building because that is very, very important. Design and test solutions to remove barriers. This is where we come up with the minimum viable product concept. Create minimum viable products, test it out into the market, and see what are the barriers that you can remove. And finally, measure adoption and iterate. Companies often fail to identify first-tier non-consumers because they misinterpret what they see and hear. They are operating from a blind spot and assume the status quo is fine. You know, the resistance to change concept. What are the common mistakes that companies make while they are identifying? Mistaking low usage for low value. You know, usually what happens if there is a, now just imagine, there are 5 customers giving you 100 rupees business and there are 2 customers giving you 2 rupees business. Where will you focus? Tell me, where will you focus?
The customer who is giving more business
So what did you do?
alienated the low value
But do
customer.
you realize that maybe the person who's doing you 2 rupees business is the person who can really give you very big business? And that segment is the one which we are neglecting. And that is the uncontested market space. Only you have to check up mistaking low usage for low value. The low value means not in rupiah na paisa. Low value in terms of segment. Because this segment is using it less, you assume that the segment has not got greater value for you. Number 2, over relying on average customer profiles. We draw a customer profile, a demographic customer profile, and we rely totally on it. And every time we tend to explain our behavior through that. For instance, what did Yogesh do when I first asked him, who is the first time non-consumer? He said the person who is doing 50 crore turnover. That means what? He is taking the average customer profile through which he is working. I don't blame him for the simple reason that's how our mind is tuned. That is why, you know, Blue Ocean Strategy talks about the mindset. How do you work towards building a Blue Ocean Strategy mindset where you start looking at the flip side of the coin constantly? Assuming existing market logic is unchangeable. We think that this is the way things are done in this industry and this is the way things should be done. Ignoring emotional and social barriers. We constantly are focused on functional barriers. We are always thinking about functional results. For instance, you know, even in the value proposition thing, what is the one example which is constantly given by the industry?
Results.
What is the example which is given? The example which is given is of Theodore Levitt. You don't buy a 3-inch bit, you buy a 3-inch hole. That is the example which is given, isn't it? But do you realize the 3-inch hole is not what you are buying? You are buying a 3-inch hole so that you can hang a picture of you, your wife, and your children there in the drawing room so that your drawing room will look better with your family picture. So what is it? It is not even the functional, it is the emotional. Is it only the emotional? No. The next step is that you are wanting to do because you saw such a picture in one of your neighbor's house and you wanted the same picture here. Now it has become social. Is it only social? No, it goes one step more further. In your marriage anniversary, you were given a beautiful wooden handcarved frame which will make your house look rich. And you wanted to put your family photo in it and hang it there so that your social status will improve. So you see, slowly the 3-inch bit has moved into functional, emotional, social, financial, dignity, all sorts of things are embraced into it. So don't just focus on functional. Don't ignore emotional social barriers. That brings us to confusing first-time non-consumers with non-target segments. Not watching for drop-offs or abandonment patterns. Always watch for drop-offs. Any company which makes it a matter of routine to watch for who has dropped off and try to find out why they dropped off will definitely do well. Applying solutions without testing. Never apply a particular solution without testing it. Test it. This is where the concept of minimum viable product again comes in. Create a prototype, a minimum viable product, and then test it in the marketplace. Iterate along with the customer. Failing to revisit and relearn, again it starts. Constantly this circle has to be worked on. That brings us to the refusing segment, how to identify second-tier non-consumers. Clarify the market's current value logic. What is the logic based on which the market is working? Map out the dominant value proposition in your industry. What is the dominant value proposition? Is it performance? Is it prestige? Is it tradition? Is it innovation? Is it convenience? What is it? What is the company or what is the industry responding best to? Find and segment the refusers. Find them and segment them, put them into different segments. Which segment are they getting into? What is it that they are telling that they are refusing the product for? Are they saying it's too complicated? Some people may say it's not for people like us. Some say I don't trust this company or this product. Some might say it doesn't fit in with my lifestyle. What is the segment which is the largest in this? Try to attack that segment. Try to find out. Tap into the communication, the negative reviews that will tell you, deeply understand their objection. What are the reviews which are there? Why are those reviews appearing? Where is the emotional disconnect? Where is the social distancing taking place? Identify alternate solutions that they use. What is it they are using in place of this? I've seen many people, complain homeopathy is not a medicine. It's not a medical system. Have you heard this argument? Huh? And the same people will go to an acupuncturist. Have you seen that also? So acupuncture is a medical system, is it? Homeopathy is not. Both are alternative forms of treatment. When you shoot down one alternative form, you should be shooting down all the alternative forms. Why you are not doing that? And then many people give the argument, अरे इतना छोटा छोटा गोली है क्या करेगा ये? So what do you want? Big, cannonballs, is it? See, just imagine what all assumptions and image people carry in their mind. So study it, see what is it, what alternative solutions they use. That will tell you whether the argument they are putting forward to shoot you down, is it valid or not, where it is that you need to address. Reframe value from their perspective. The same value which you have got, reframe it from their perspective. How do you do that? Remove what they reject. Raise what they ask for. Introduce what they are missing. All this in your messaging. It need not necessarily be in the product. Remember one thing, value creation is one aspect. Value messaging is a very different aspect. Value creation is to deliver a certain set of experiences. Value messaging is to change perception. Value demonstration is to instill trust. Value delivery is to deliver the solution. See, you should be very clear what it is you are doing. People don't even know the difference between all this. Am I clear? Are you understanding what I am telling? Am I making sense to you people?
Yes, sir.
Arun sir, what is the difference between value demonstration, value delivery?
Value demonstration is to create trust.
The initial.
You see, if you don't trust my product, why will you buy it? Okay. When was the last time you purchased something?
Raymond advertisement is a demonstration of value.
Huh?
Raymond advertisement is demonstration of value. Family value, feel value, elegance value.
See, messaging has value built into it. Otherwise, also you can have value. For instance, I'll tell you, there was this, mattress. The mattress was priced at approximately $6,000. Can you believe it? A mattress costing $6,000. You know how much does that work out to?
5 lakh rupees.
Approximately 5 lakhs. How did they demonstrate the value? They said, take it home, use it for 1 year. At the end of that period, if you're not satisfied, give it back. If you are satisfied, pay up. You leave a check with us, we will deposit it at the end of the year. If you return it, you take back the check and go. Solid demonstration of value. They are telling for 1 year, God damn it, you'll feel so satisfied. 1 year is a long time enough, long enough period for you to realize that it's a good stuff, isn't it? Massive value demonstration. The very concept of that person telling you use it for 1 year and then pay shows the amount of confidence he has got on his product. It's a fact. You can check it. What I'm telling is a fact.
Some people give 10 years warranty also.
That's warranty. Here, the payment itself he is not taking.
But Arun sir, in this example of mattress, what you gave, sorry for taking the time.
Yeah, no issue.
It is your messaging, you create change the perception in the minds of the customer. And then the demonstration comes once the product is delivered to the customer. He actually experiences it. So where is the distinction between demonstration and delivery?
Delivery is if the person tells you that you will have a very good night's sleep and you have it. That is value delivery.
Okay.
Are you understanding what I'm telling? Apple Watch talks about ease of use. Okay? Convenience of use. How do they demonstrate it? By showing how it can be used easily as a telephone. You can send email and other things with it. And then, you can access the internet. Ease of use. Done. The thing comes in your hand. You don't understand anything about it, how to do it. Is there value delivery? Finished. That means you should be able to do what he did. Then it is value delivery. He's being able to do it's not value delivery. That is value demonstration.
Clear. Thank you.
Value demonstration is a trust. Value delivery is a repurchase. Value creation is user experience. Value messaging is interest generation. Value demonstration is trust generation. Value delivery is repurchase. The circle starts all over again. Any questions? Prototype and test with refusers. Close the trust and identity gap. Now, as I was telling you, chirag tale andhera hota hai. So what is it? You need to be very careful. Some very common mistakes which people make. Here, it is very nuanced. The mistakes are very nuanced. These are people who have consciously rejected your industry's offering. Remember that. They are very consciously, that means what? They have tried this industry and then rejected it. So convincing them has to be very nuanced. And it is in this stage that some very common mistakes companies make, and how should you avoid them? Assuming non-consumption is ignorance. They have refused because they did not understand how to do it. That is a mistake. For instance, Apple, they demonstrate how you can send an email, how you can access the internet, how you can take a photo, give it to you. You are unable to do it. The company man tells, sir, you are not tech savvy. That is why you are unable to do it. Who is the idiot here?
Company.
Obviously. Why the hell are you there? You are there to only make a person who doesn't understand be able to do it. Why the hell should I go and do MTech in electronics to be able to work an Apple phone? You should make it so simple that even a 2-year-old child should be able to operate it. So you see, the first mistake people make is assuming non-consumption is ignorance. Second, focusing on rational barriers only. Barriers most of the time are irrational because all emotional and social barriers are irrational. Why should you be comparing yourself with your neighbor? Why should a telephone make you feel rich and a person of a high status? But it does, doesn't it? So you see, focusing only on rational barriers is a mistake. Only focusing on cost is a mistake. Using current customer as the only rents, you are trying to assess the whole world based upon the current customer. No. Your current customer is a minuscule fraction of the market which is not being serviced by you. So you need to drop your current customer profile that you have in your mind and then step out to be able to identify non-consumers. Treating all non-consumers as a single group. No. All non-consumers will not come under single group. Some may have become non-consumers because they can't afford the product. Some may have become non-consumer because they don't see value in it. Some may have become non-consumers because they find it very complicated. Some may have become non-consumers because they are confused as to how it can benefit them. There could be n number of segments like this. So that is the reason why you need to segment the non-consumers, the refusers, into the segments that they fall into. Over-reliance on survey and quantitative data. Statistics is a very funny thing. What it shows is interesting, what it hides is vital. So if you are going to go with statistics, reliance on survey and quantitative data, you are going to make a huge mistake. That is the reason why you need to do ethnographic study and understand what's happening. Failing to understand substitute behavior. Just because someone is not using our product, we let go of. Try to find out what he is using instead. For instance, supposing, let us say, Yogesh ji, a person comes to him and then goes away to another consultant for his requirement. If Yogesh ji has left him, chalo koi baat nahi, yaar chala gaya, let us look at somebody else, then that's a grave mistake. He should first try to find out what is it that the other person is giving, which I am not giving, because he is your substitute. The more you understand the substitute behavior, the better you will be able to tailor your value proposition so that such an incident does not happen again. And finally, trying to convert instead to reframe. Don't try to convert, don't force, reframe. Converting is working on the other person, reframing is working on yourself. Don't convert him. Don't force him to change his decision or opinion. Don't start thinking how I can change his mind. Start thinking what is it I need to do by which I can give a better frame. That brings us to the third, the unexplored. Question assumptions, identify invisible walls. What do we mean by question assumptions and unidentify invisible walls? Uncover assumptions. What are the assumptions that you have? They can't afford it.
Slums people do not need a shampoo.
They won't understand it, is the second one.
Rural
That is
people are the most unaware people.
they are unaware. There is no demand here.
Foolish.
They will not be able to appreciate it. The infrastructure does not exist. A company does not have, there's a one-man company. There is no infrastructure, nothing. So you simply decide ISO is not required here. I'm just shooting off just like that. I don't, it need not be right. What I'm telling is, you see, there are many things, we simply assume. We don't try to explore. Second, map exclusions, see who is systematically left out. Instead of trying to find out which all segment you can service, try to find out which all segment you are not servicing. Because that is where your growth opportunity lies. in trying to discuss on, work on which all segments you are servicing, what you are doing is you are competing. You are not creating business, you are competing with business. Because in that segment, there are so many other people who are working. But when you map exclusions, who all you are not working with, you are mapping people who are not, who are not in the competition field at all. You can create a market when you attempt that. Understand needs, focus on life, not product. That means you are focused on individual, the customer, not your product. How does his need get fulfilled by this product? What are his needs? This is where persona building becomes very, 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 very important, because persona building brings out nuances of segments which otherwise are not visible.
Can you,
Long
ex-
distance courier
Arun,
is
can you
out.
explain focus on life?
Is in.
Huh?
Can you explain what is
Courier
focus
is
on
out.
life?
Focus on life is humans, customer. Focus on the customer, not on your product. Oftentimes we look for customers for our product, isn't it?
Yeah.
How many of us look for product for our customer?
Okay.
Spot enablers look for policy shifts. Reframe offering, redesign for access and reality. Again, we come to MVP. Pilot empathetically, learn from scaling. Learn before scaling. That means, can anyone give me an example of this? Pilot empathetically, learn before scaling. Every day it's happening with you. I mean it, every day. Not even every week, every month, every day.
Buy a small thing, and if it works, then scale it up.
Every day it's happening. Are you getting updates on your phone? Are you getting updates on your computer? Are you getting updates of mobiles? iPhone 7, iPhone 8, iPhone 9, iPhone 10, iPhone 11. What are these? Huh? Are they waiting for a product to become perfect before they launch it? No, they are not doing that. They are launching it and then iterating and perfecting it. Then the next lot comes. To the extent today, Tesla is sending updates and upgrades for their car by online, by the net. Things have gone to such an extent. So pilot empathetically means what? Co-create. Piloting empathetically is a precursor to co-creation. You talk to your customer, he tells you what he wants, you create a minimum viable product, launch it in the market, experience it, and then scale the model. Build a new model, rewrite value capture logic. What is the reason that you are capturing a particular logic, a particular value? What is the logic behind it? You rewrite it and then present it as a human story to inspire and mobilize people towards a particular direction. The third non-tier consumers is particularly difficult because they lie outside the current mental and operational boundaries of most industries, because they are the ones who are not even considered as a possible segment. So they lie outside the boundary. So the mistakes which are made in identifying them is very, 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 very critical. Let us understand what are the mistakes that you can make in trying to identify them. Number one, assuming there is no demand. You know, there is this story of two footwear people going to the Arctics. They saw no one is wearing shoes. One of them sent a telegram to his office. No market is there because no one wears shoes. The other said, send the entire consignment, no one wears shoes. It is like that only. Just because it is not being used now does not mean the demand does not exist. It only means that there is unlimited demand here. Only thing is you need to be able to message your value, demonstrate it, and deliver it. If you can message it properly, because you have already created the value. Now tell me one thing. Can you sell a refrigerator in the Arctics? Can you sell an air conditioner in the Arctics?
Yes, sir. The thing is, usually it will get freezed. In order not to get freezed and to stay in a particular temperature, usually the refrigerators are used.
Correct. You're absolutely right. What is the term for this? Air conditioning. It's not an air cooler. It is an air conditioner. That means you maintain the environment in a particular temperature. When it is outside is minus 50 degrees, you want a room in 24 degrees, then you have to perforce have an air conditioner. When everything is freezing into ice, keeping it in the refrigerator will keep it up, save it as water. So you see, it's only a question of trying to understand. Letting existing business models cloud your vision. That is the reason why knowing how to disrupt through business model innovation is very important. Otherwise, what happens? You continue to work in the current business model only because you do not have an understanding of how to work with the 9 segments and create a disruption. So you have to let the existing business model not, block your vision. Letting them block your vision is a major mistake in trying to find the third time. Using traditional market research is a very big mistake. So what should you do? Don't use traditional market research tools. Use ethnographic tools. Ethnographic tools are not traditional tools. They are design thinking tools designed to work in areas of uncertainty. Redesigning for the company, not the context. This is another major mistake. Products should be designed for a context because everything is done in a context. But designing for the company, what is the company? The basket. The product basket signifies the company. Designing for the product basket to fill a gap is a mistake. Design for the context. The customer who finds himself in a particular context, what pain and need he has, design for that. Ignoring cultural, social, and emotional barriers is another very big problem. Companies usually focus on functional barriers. Let me give an example. There is a car. And there is a country where the black color is the color of mourning. Will you manufacture a black car? Huh? Because you see, now going to a marriage in a black car could be thought of as being a bad shakun. Whenever I buy, we buy something for a gifting or something, the first thing my wife tells me is don't buy anything black. Black is beautiful, but we can't present that. So you see, understanding the cultural thing is very, very important. What are the cultural barriers? What are the emotional barriers? What are the social barriers? Understand them. When you ignore them and look at only functional barriers to a product's adoption, you get into a problem. You will not be able to identify the segment. Looking for scale too soon. Don't look for scale too soon. Don't start thinking what level we need to sell so that we can break even. Then ignoring that segment which will not take you to scale, automatically, you have ignored a uncontested market space. Viewing them as charity, not market. That is the problem. There is no charity involved in any business. Everything is a market. Whether you are able to, capitalize on it or not is something different. These are some of the common mistakes which are made. Now we come to the most important thing. How to develop a mindset that's attuned to non-consumers, people not yet served by your industry or product. A manager or an entrepreneur or a consultant will have to challenge conventional thinking, expand their empathy, and actively reframe the problems if he has to develop a mindset which will help him look at non-consumers. You see, blue ocean strategy requires you're working on your mindset. It's very, very important. First thing is you have to develop a mindset that's attuned to non-consumers. You will have to move away from thinking about the segment that you are currently servicing, which is what always we are doing, to thinking about non-consumers, segments which we are not servicing. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, because the segment which you are currently servicing is giving you the money. Your sustenance is depending on it, your family is depending on it. So to leave that and to start thinking in terms of a segment which is not giving anything to you is very difficult. Second, challenge conventional thinking. Expand your empathy and actively reframe problems from the perspective of those who are often left out. That means you have to start looking at your industry through the eyes of those consumers who are not your consumers. They have been left out, they're out. They are either at the fringe, ready to shift, they have refused you, they have rejected you, or third, you are not even aware they exist. You will have to reframe everything from their context. Third is cultivating a strategic lens and emotional discipline that enables radical value creation. That means you will have to look through a strategic lens with an emotional discipline. What is the emotional discipline? Thinking from their shoes, being empathetic, getting into their shoes and look at what is the value that you can create for them who have rejected you, why they have rejected you, and then create the value for them. So let us see how you can develop step by step. But if you can develop this non-consumer mindset, it will be very useful to you in every aspect of your business. Step by step. Number one, shift from market share to market creation. Don't think in terms of market share. Think in terms of market creation. Mr. Balakrishnan makes hydraulic equipments. He will usually be thinking in terms of market share. I have done this much, 20 crore last year. I want to do 24 crores this year, 25 crores this year. 20 crore constitutes 0.5% of my total market. I want to increase it by 0.525 or something like that. But what happens if he doesn't think like this and starts thinking in terms of market creation? I will create a market for hydraulic equipments in robotics. I will create a market for hydraulic equipments in defense industry. I will create a market for hydraulic equipments in aerospace. If he starts thinking in these terms, there is no limit to where he can go. The growth will be exponential. If he succeeds in one particular market also, it becomes exponential because he's the only man servicing that market. Next, start with empathy, not assumptions. Drop all assumptions. Let's do a small exercise. I know it's getting a lot, it's already 10 o'clock, but still another 15-20 minutes. Let's do a small exercise. Can you define the word assume from which assumption has come? Please, all of you unmute your videos.
Premise.
Yes, tell me.
Making ass of you and me.
Correct.
What's that, Yogesh?
Split the
Making
word
ass of
as,
you and me.
A-S-S-U-M-E. Assume means what? As, you, me. So you see, drop assumptions. The one thing that a businessman can do is drop assumptions. Even though you know all businesses are done through assumptions. There can be no financial document created without certain basic assumptions. Am I right, Raju sir? Everything has certain assumptions.
Not financial statements, but business plans. All
Yeah,
the
business
plans.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I stand corrected. Any business plan or projection has certain assumptions. Okay, so drop assumptions, go with empathy. That means check out, confirm what it is. Practice mental subtraction of industry boundaries. Don't think of adding, think of subtracting. You see a boundary. What is your first, what do? You automatically think, so what happens if I add this segment? What happens if I add this segment? That's what we think, isn't it? We have a market, we have a market share. So you start talking about adding this segment, adding that segment. Did you ever think how this market share has come by subtracting all the other segments which could have been there? Practice mental subtraction. Look for silent struggles and workarounds. What are the struggles and workarounds which are there, which is not articulated? What is it you are working around so that you can achieve something? Because that is where the dropouts may be. Break the habit of light thinking. Going for heavy thinking. What is light thinking? Don't just think of downscaling or making a product cheap for your consumer. What is heavy thinking? Heavy thinking is when you note down all their aspirations and try to fulfill them, not just their limitations. A person is unable to spend much. Light thinking is reduce the cost. A person is unable to spend much. Heavy thinking is add so much value that other needs are also fulfilled and he becomes happy by paying that amount. Surround yourself with diversity of thought. Don't keep only people who think like you. Like, the other day I was talking with Mr. Balakrishnan and I was telling him that we should try to build a team with diverse capabilities in his company. I told him, never ever take anyone who knows your job. Why? You already know your job. Why do you require another person who knows your job? Take someone who will be able to support you. Are you understanding what I'm telling? If there are 4 people in a company, each of them should have a different skill set. Believe me, it will be a marriage of happiness and satisfaction. Because there will be no clash. No one knows the other man's work. So he can't judge you. And everyone knows something, so they will contribute to the growth of the organization. Unfortunately, most companies interview to take their clone. And the problems start. You tell me one thing, Raju sir. Supposing you are interviewing, you are in the interview panel. What will you ask?
I will see what sort of value addition he can.
What question will you
on-
ask?
First, it will start with the career. What is?
You will ask questions based on financial matters
Yes.
because that's what you know. Tell me one thing. You are asking a question for what purpose? To check his knowledge? No. If you are asking the question to check his knowledge, then how do you know that he is giving the right answer? Unless you are not knowledgeable in what he is knowledgeable in.
Actually, there's no right or wrong answer, but I would like to understand when I'm interviewing his thought process.
This thought process you can't understand because you would have prepared for the interview. No one comes unprepared for the interview with a blank mind. They come all prepared. That is why they say, take for experience, not for knowledge. See, for simple things, supposing you are a finance man, you ask a question, you will invariably ask finance questions because you will feel comfortable asking a question of which you know the answer. If you don't know the answers, let us say you ask how the heart functions. He tells you the heart is a very important organ for excretion of urine. It is placed in the lower abdomen. You don't know anything about zoology, you don't know anything about human anatomy. You will also nod your head very knowingly. Okay, so you see, our interview system itself is loaded for failure. You tell me one thing, you are a master in finance, why do you require another finance man in the company? What will be the outcome? You will take a decision tomorrow. This guy will sit and say, Raju sir, is a good guy, but he doesn't take the right decision. This is not how finance should be managed. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Can that happen?
Yeah.
It can happen because finance can be managed in many ways. Who said the way you manage it is the only way which is right? The way he wants to manage can also be right. Now, what has happened? Already there is a clash between the two of you. Only thing is you are the boss, so he's keeping quiet. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
But let us assume there is only one finance man, there is one operations person, there is one administrative person, and there is one regulatory person. There is one marketing person. Will there be fight in this company? Each one will do what he knows, and all of them together will build the organization. Have you heard the name of Ghosn? Ghosn.
Yeah, the Nissan guy.
Correct. Do you know what he did?
He formed cross-functional teams.
Correct. When he joined Nissan, Nissan was down in the dumps. It was on the verge of bankruptcy when Ghosn was brought in as the CEO. He came with one, very clear understanding with the board that no one will interfere with whatever he does and they will keep shut for a particular period of time. He came, he took one from each department and created a cross-functional team and gave their team a particular mandate of growth, and they delivered. Nissan had a turnaround. It became a highly profitable company. It's a different issue that he robbed the company black and blue and then had to ultimately escape in a painting box or something, I don't know.
Musical instrument box.
Musical instrument box, yeah. He escaped. That's a different story. So you see, always bear in mind that you should always surround yourself with diversity. When you have diversity, things grow, they flourish. Practice opportunity framing, not problem framing. Look for opportunity in all the problems. There are two questions you can ask. Why I can't do this? The second question is, what is the second question?
How can I do this?
How can I do this? You can either ask why I cannot do this, or you can ask how can I do this. Develop a tolerance for ambiguity. Everything need not be in black and white. Life is ambiguous. Life is not in black and white. When life is not in black and white, develop a tolerance for ambiguity, learn to live with ambiguity, and all those of you who want to become very good at living with ambiguity, I would seriously suggest you start studying and understanding design thinking, because design thinking is the best form of thinking for ambiguous and uncertain environment. Read stories of disruptors who served non-consumers. Read stories of all these people. Read the story of IKEA. IKEA is a huge disruptor. It's a beautiful blue ocean strategy. Read the story of, very nearby at home, what is that yoga guru? Baba Ramdev.
Baba Ram.
He is a huge disruptor. Then finally, build a ritual of asking, who is left out? The more you ask this question, who is left out, the more you will realize that you are on your way to building an uncontested market space. 2 hours, 10 minutes. Okay, not bad. Any questions?
Arun sir, I remember one statement which you made in a couple of programs back.
So the question about the
Saying
very
that,
last.
Yeah, tell me.
yeah, saying that you go into the blue ocean only when you have a stable, sustainable business, right? You take the leap. Now, my question is that if you have a business which is not properly organized or something, will you still be looking for non-consumers?
You see, you can always look for non-consumers because that is a strategy for market expansion. Okay. You see, when your business is stable, you have got a good business, you got a good revenue stream coming in, but the business is becoming fast commoditized. That is the ideal time to look for a blue ocean, for a pathway away from the, developing
dominant.
red ocean into a blue ocean. But it is not so. 99% of the companies who have migrated to blue ocean were in deep shit trouble in the red ocean. And they were forced literally to go into the blue ocean. They were very fortunate that they could go. Because you see, going into the blue ocean is not something which you do in a hurry. It cannot happen in a hurry. So you need to take time and work at it. And second thing is, blue ocean creation is a work in progress. It never ends, because once you have migrated into the blue ocean, your success will become visible to everyone. And again, the cloning will start. People will start coming into the blue ocean, and it will start first become pink and then become red. And then now again, you'll have to move into the next one. Very few companies have been able to sustain the blue ocean which they have created. Among them are Dell. Dell is one who has created a blue ocean and has been able to sustain it. IKEA is another which has been able to create a blue ocean and sustain it. Apple is one which has been able to create a blue ocean and sustain it. I don't know of any other who has done it. Tesla is one which has created a blue ocean and sustained it.
Can we say that business disruption is could be due to blue ocean strategy?
Business industries get disrupted, businesses don't get disrupted. But you see, if I would say, let us put it this way: industries don't get disrupted, industries get created with blue ocean. Uber created a separate, timeshare industry. Airbnb created a timeshare industry in hospitality. Uber created it in mobility. Okay, they disrupted. IKEA created it in furniture, home decor.
No.
No, leave it. You get my point?
Yeah. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
You see, taxi industry did not get affected because of Uber coming in. Taxi industry is still continuing. Auto is still continuing, even though Uber Auto has come. Food delivery is still continuing, even though Uber Eats has come. So you see, Tesla automobile industry is still continuing, even though Tesla has come, but it has created a totally uncontested market space for itself in the green automobile sector. It has created a new category of automobiles called green automobiles. Now the giga factories and the other solar factories, they have created a green energy wave, but otherwise also the industry is continuing. Achha, one more thing. One thing, I've been recently talking to people, trying to understand what they feel. I found one very funny thing is, there is a huge gap in terms of understanding of workplace dynamics. What transpires in the workplace? Do you think we should start some work on that?
Yeah, I think it's very important. Everyone can relate to it, and it's very important because that's something which is a necessity for everyone.
Because we always use the word problem for everything. Correct? Is everything a problem?
It's a challenge.
What is the difference between a challenge and a problem?
Problem is the negative thing, and challenge is a positive thing.
What is the difference between an aberration, the challenge, and the problem? What is the difference between an
when we look at
aberration?
challenge, we are seeking solutions. Whereas when we are looking at problems, we need not look at solutions. Aberrations is sometimes looked at one time or accident things. So people don't work on it, they call it fate, they call it otherwise. That is my point of view.
Okay, thank you. You see, I was thinking of,
कोई टीवी चालू करो ना, नहीं करो करो
see,
Audio मत है कुछ है।
problems. So say, okay, how many types of problems are there? Has any one of you ever thought about in these lines? Do all problems have the same type of solutions?
No, no.
No,
Then how do you know which type of problem requires what type of solution?
context.
How
People,
many types? Okay, Suresh, since you are so eager to answer, how many types of problems are there?
He is muted. Suresh, you're muted.
it can be physical problem, it can be mental problem, it can be environmental related problem, it can be a social problem, it can be a age and demographic related problems, it can be economic problems. Like that, we can go on list.
Tell me, how many will be there?
So, that is a difficult.
I can tell you one thing, you'll go mad if you go like this.
Okay.
You see, I was just thinking, that why not? Because you see, all this comes under the category of workplace dynamics. It comes under the category of workplace dynamics.
So you are talking about the professional side, isn't it, sir?
But that's what we are here for, not to talk about the professional side. Why the hell should I get into the problems that a husband has with a wife? No, starting with, we have to try to understand what we want to do, because I was just thinking that is there any way we can help people understand the nuances of, because you see, only when you are very grounded in all these things can you be able to scale up into broader concepts like design thinking or blue ocean strategy and all these things. If you have a very weak foundation, then it is very difficult to scale up into these things. Am I right or wrong? What do you think?
Very right, sir.
You, Yogesh ji, what do you think? एक सिंपल डेफिनेशन दीजिए तो प्रॉब्लम का, very simple, which you will be able to relate. Vikas, can you give a simple definition of a problem?
I can try, Guruji.
Try.
All right. So, due to the occurrence of some event or issue, someone gets impacted at some time can be defined as a problem.
I'm not finding my mobile. That's a problem for me.
Any issue that is constantly nagging an individual because he has taken it to his heart and become restless is a issue, is a problem.
A hurdle for us is a problem.
Sales not growing, barrier, two people are not going well together. They are not forming a team. Objective is not met even when efforts are put. That is also a problem.
Listening to the problems itself is a big problem.
Ajay, just think about it. Tell me a definition which I have been thinking about. Will it suit? A gap between the current and the desired state that affects objectives, performance, and value creation is a problem.
These are gaps, no?
The gap that exists between the
Is a
current
problem.
state and the desired state
Right
Yeah.
state, correct,
that affects objectives, performance, and value creation.
correct.
Yes.
A problem requires decision making, intervention, and resolution.
Mhm.
Does it make sense?
True, true, true.
Yes.
A problem will require decision making. You have to take a decision. Having decided, you will have to intervene. Having intervened, you will have to resolve it.
Sometimes non-intervention is a solution by itself.
That again is a type of intervention. No? You're deciding not to intervene is also an intervention.
Yeah.
The purpose is to resolve it.
I remember one class you were saying that, some problems go away, you should not, just ignore it.
99% go away.
Ignore the problem automatically vanishes.
Because, this is a very, 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 very deep subject. Because all the efficiency tools which are there are problem solving tools. So we need to, this is one aspect, we can think about. There are a few more things, which I've been thinking, which maybe in due course we can start working on. Because, they will be very useful to managers and entrepreneurs and consultants, because it will give them a very, it will make their life in the shop floor very easy. It will make their life in the office very easy. We tend to call even nuisance as a problem, aberration as a problem. Everything is a problem for us, without realizing that we are becoming a problem for the company. Okay, friends. Do you have any questions? No?
Very
You are
good class, sir, today. Very good class.
you are saying this is the next which is coming in our life.
Huh?
What I am saying, this is the next which is coming in our way.
which is coming in your way?
That the thing which you are saying right now, the problem and decision making. Like this is what you are planning now.
No, I was just thinking about it because I happened to be talking to someone.
Yeah.
Someone wanted to give this program, so I was thinking about it, and then I suddenly realized, that it's an ocean. It's so vast. It is so very big. The definition of problem itself, it's so very disturbing. It is something like, a woman. What is a woman?
Nobody can understand.
A woman is a mother, a woman is a sister, a woman is a daughter, a woman is a friend, a woman is so many things. So you see, similarly, problem means, then I started thinking, what should be the solution? Supposing you were to teach people solutions to which problem? So what are the different types of problems which are there? Like, Suresh was telling, now, if you start listing it like that, we say Anjaneya wale, like Hanuman ji ka पूछो तो चलता ही जाएगा, तो रुकेगा ही नहीं. But
I think conflict resolution also should be a part of it.
you see, everything is a problem. Conflict resolution is a problem, na?
Yeah.
So what part of the problem it is? What type of a problem it is? So you see, the first thing is when you start talking about problem, you'll have to start creating buckets to put those problems in. Isn't it?
Yeah.
You'll have to start thinking in terms of buckets. You can't have 2000 problem list and then say, I will handle this problem like this, I will handle this problem like this. You can't. So you'll have to create buckets, and then you will have to identify strategies to handle that bucket. So what are the tools available with you? How will you position those tools so that you can address that problem?
Yeah.
Like one of the most common problems in any company is an employee problem, a problem of can't do problem, won't do problem. So how do you handle this can't do, won't do thing? The trade-off between employee satisfaction and employer requirement. Where do you strike the balance? What are the tools available? So you see, it keeps on. I was just thinking about it for the last 2-3 days. It kept on increasing. Because one of the things, Raju sir, I am very conscious of is whenever I start thinking about something, I tend to go very deep into it so that there is value to it. People should be able to understand it. Then I started talking to some people. That is when, a wonderful thing came up that we need to address some very fundamental things. When very fundamental things like, that is why, I started taking this thing about mindset very seriously. Because if you don't develop the correct mindset, the strategy cannot be implemented. You will listen to everything. You will enjoy everything, possibly, because of the slides or the delivery or the structure or the sequence. But ultimately, do you benefit? Can you replicate it in the office place? That's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, Bala?
Yes, sir.
Am I right or wrong?
I don't have any other answer other than right.
You are always right, sir.
No, I should not tell it that way.
We do.
Left with no choice, only right is the only choice for us.
Yes. Because,
No,
because
then you can answer like this, you know.
None of the above.
No,
Because-
first is you are right. And if
Ah.
I am wrong, refer to answer number 1.
One. Okay.
Oh, mere Ram.
Okay, guys, good
So-
night.
Okay, thank you.
Jai
Right,
Shri.
sir. Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Good night,
you.
good night, good night.
Arun, sir, you can stay back just,
Yeah.
yeah.
नमस्कार माथुर साहब, चेहरा दिखा दिया, दर्शन हो गए।
माथुर साहब क्या हाल है?
अभी आए हैं क्या घर?
नहीं, घर पे ही हूँ बस।
घर पे हैं और इतने देर से वीडियो ऑफ है, क्या बात है भाई?
वो फंक्शन चल रहा था इसलिए
अब फंक्शन कंप्लीट हो गया?
लगभग लोग गए, बाकी थोड़े बहुत हैं।
ऐसे ही चला तो सभी चले जाएंगे, डोंट वरी।
मेरे को तो सर जब से मैं आया हूँ, हेलो सर,
हाँ बोलिए।
जब से आया हूँ नींद आए जा रही, नींद आए जा रही, पता नहीं नींद ही नहीं खुद क्या हुआ।
अभी भी जेट लैग है?
अभी मैं सेशन लेट ज्वाइन किया ना, तो मैं
हाँ।
सोया पड़ा था। मेरी वाइफ आई बाहर से, उसने कहा तुम्हारा सेशन है। 18 घंटे नींद आती रहती। आई डोंट नो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड।
Yeah.
समथिंग स्ट्रेंज।
Okay, folks.
Yeah.
Let's
you.
all take leave. Subaraju sir has Singaraju has something to discuss.
Yeah.
माथुर, राजू साहब आप तो दुबई
No,
में
no,
हो।
no. Actually, I wanted to discuss something with Arun, sir. 1-to-1.
Yeah.
ओके
So
ओके
guys,
we
good
can
night.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can
Thank you,
quit.
thank you.
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Arun, sir, I was just thinking about it, you know, that.
माथुर साहब लॉग ऑफ कर जाइए।